I'd like to hear the Department of Health's opinion regarding stigma. Secretary Mendez?
I consider this case a very serious matter. It's unlike any plague mankind has ever known.
Could you please elaborate?
First off, stigma is a virulent disease created by man. Reports indicate that a contagious strain exists, which means it's a significant threat. In addition to that, there's an underground organization attempting to exploit the situation. So we must face the possibility that stigma is being circulated as a biological weapon. But in order to investigate, we need the cooperation of Homeland Security.
No need to worry about that. I've already notified the appropriate individuals.
Thank you, I appreciate it. However, I'm afraid we don't have much time to waste. There have been reports from around the world describing symptoms that suggest the presence of stigma. There's even been a major outbreak in one country.
You're talking about Kularuma, correct?
Yes. We've had one patient flown in for examination. We'll handle the treatment and subsequent analysis here in the U.S. Caduceus will be seeing to it. In case you weren't aware, Mr. Deputy Secretary, Caduceus is our country's finest.
There's no need to explain. I'm familiar with the organization.
I'm so glad that you're all back safely. You must have been so scared.
You have no idea. But we survived, with each other's help.
I'm sorry you had to endure such an ordeal. We must take stringent measures to strengthen our security immediately.
With no word since your disappearance, we had begun to fear the worst. How are you feeling? Were you harmed?
It was a difficult situation, but we were determined to get through it. Having met our enemy face to face, my resolve to continue this mission has grown even stronger.
I wouldn't have objected if you had decided to resign, but I'm glad to hear you say that. We can't win the war against stigma without you three.
Something caught my attention while we were being held captive. It concerns Professor Wilkins. I think he may be a member of the Kidman family.
Goodness. Could that be true?
The professor? What do you mean, Marcus?
Well, you know that guy they referred to as the director? His face was hidden, but he was definitely the same height and had the same build as the professor. He also appeared to be the center of their research on stigma. If he is Professor Wilkins, then this would all make sense.
I have to disagree. The way he moved and spoke, I just don't think he could be Professor Wilkins.
I'm not positive, but it seems very likely. I just can't figure out how he got mixed up with them.
Regardless, I'll notify the FBI. Now, I understand that you're concerned, but I need you to continue with your mission.
The patient has been flown in by the military. We don't know how infectious the disease is, so use the quarantine transfer unit. According to preliminary examination, we are dealing with a new type of stigma, so we'll be relying heavily on your abilities. I know that's a lot to ask since you just returned, but I hope you're up for the challenge.
Well, at least we're not out of practice, having been forced to operate while we were held captive.
Oh my! Is that true?
Yes, believe it or not.
I'd like to say that you will have the very best working with you in the research lab, but unfortunately, we've lost a key staff member. We'll still do all that we can, though.
Did something happen?
Cynthia left. She quit while you were away.
Why would she do such a thing? She seemed so dedicated to her work.
Do you have any idea why she quit, Isabella?
As a representative of Humani, I'm not at liberty to say. But I'll tell you as a friend. She seems to have gone through a lot with the higher-ups concerning stigma. They blamed her for developing products that increase patients' susceptibility to stigma. But no one could have anticipated that side effect.
It's a shame to lose someone like her, but we can't dwell on it. Let's prepare for the operation, Val.
That's too bad. I had hoped to work with Cynthia until we eradicated stigma together.
Just so you're aware, I'll be present throughout the operation.
It's good to be back. Now, let's get started.
Unfortunately, we don't know how to proceed until we've taken a closer look.
But at least we have a second opinion today. Well, let's begin by opening him up.
Stigma is definitely...
It appears to have a core.
Let's try using that...
Something's been
Toxin, I presume. Needless to say,
We have to find a...
We have to... The grappler stopped moving. We can That takes care of... I see. Doctor, the arm has expanded back to its normal size. 2 down, 1 to go. Looks like you can only pinch each arm in one spot. It's withdrawn its arms.
that's probably the result of a rapid contraction designed to stimulate regeneration. Perhaps this can be used to our advantage, since it places a great deal of stress on the core. If we repeat this process, we may be able to force the core to destroy itself.
All right, let's give it a shot.
Its arms are back out! Hurry up and remove the grapplers! Please be more careful, Doctor. It's working. Keep it up. It's extended its arms again. So quickly, too.
It seems like...
So try to remove the grapplers while keeping the toxin from spreading. Keep going! The core's weakening! We beat it! That was incredible. We never gave up.
I forgot what it's like to have a real operating room.
I hope that's the last we see of that thing.
Well, the operation was a success. Great work.
That was an admirable effort, considering the difficulty of the operation.
Yes, it was a tricky one, but somehow we managed.
I don't mean to press my luck, but I actually have another favor to ask of you three. This will be an extremely difficult task.
So it's no different than usual.
Don't worry. We're quite used to extremely difficult tasks by now.
We received a request for aid from the country of Kuluruma, where an outbreak's occurred. They desperately need doctors who know how to treat stigma. The government would like to provide assistance. That is, of course, if there are any doctors willing to volunteer.
And you want us to go?
If we can get some of our personnel into Kuluruma where that metal originates, then I believe we can advance our research on stigma. But to do so, we have to put 3 of our finest staff members in danger, not just of infection, but also of insurrection.
Kularuma is a hotbed for guerrilla activity. It's a time bomb waiting to go off. What do you think, Val?
Well, ultimately, what's our purpose? I mean, is it worth risking our lives for?
If we're trying to convince ourselves, we could say it's to protect the world from stigma.
Elena, how do you feel about traveling south of the equator?
Well, it's better than going somewhere cold.
Glad to hear that. Then it's decided. We accept, Madame Director.
Allow me to introduce President Moreno, who has taken time out of his busy schedule to greet you.
Welcome. I thank you wholeheartedly for coming all this way to save our citizens.
It's an honor to meet you, Mr. President.
Nice to meet you, sir.
We hope that we can be of assistance.
You're much younger than I expected. But nevertheless, I'm sure you're quite skilled.
They seem a bit suspicious.
Stigma has claimed many victims, and now rumors are sending the populace into a panic. My people's suffering is my own. That is why I am so grateful to receive help from your country.
We'll do our best, as a sign of friendship between our countries.
I am counting on you. Commander, where are the doctors headed?
Sir, they'll be deployed to Arbel, sir.
I see. Our American friends may not be prepared for what is in store for them. But I am afraid we have no alternative. I'm counting on the three of you to care for the infected and determine the cause of the outbreak. In any event, there are some unruly elements in this country. Oh, I almost forgot. Commander, bring her in.
Yes, sir. Right away.
I am assigning you a special escort. You're our important guests, after all.
Come, Pepita.
Don't be afraid. She's a smart dog, she won't bite. In fact, she's very well trained. It's a custom in our country to give such dogs as special gifts. I hope you'll accept her.
Yes, thank you very much.
Nice to meet you, Pepita.
I intended to have a banquet prepared in your honor, but
We're doctors, not diplomats, so there's no need for formalities. We're here to help the sick.
yes, you're absolutely correct. We all have our work to attend to, including me. I wish you the best of luck with your assignment. Well, good day.
The President is now leaving the premises.
President sure seems busy.
Yeah, he has his hands full between the guerrillas and the economy. And add to that, stigma.
Nice to meet you, Dr. Vaughn, Dr. Blaylock, and Miss Salazar. And you are... Maria Estrada. I was born here, but I went to med school and did my residency in the U.S. I'll be acting as your interpreter. I'm thinking about practicing medicine here, actually.
Oh, yes, they did say something about an interpreter. Maria, are you feeling okay?
I think I may be coming down with something.
Look at her eye, Val. It's all red. Maria, did you get your immunization shots before returning here?
No, because I was born here, I didn't think I needed them.
As a doctor, you should know better. Val, she might have Vimase fever. If that's the case, she'll need immediate treatment.
That's endemic to this region, but she hasn't lived here in years. Elena, I need your help. We need to check her lungs.
Okay, I'll get everything ready. We're unfamiliar with Vimase fever.
Supposedly, it causes unusual tumors in the lungs. That's all I know.
Those must be the fever tumors mentioned in the examination reports. It appears that removing these tumors will greatly improve the patient's condition.
That gives us an idea of how to treat her, but aren't these readings strange?
You're right. These fluctuating numbers are a cause for concern. It seems like they're periodically rising and falling.
We can't just leave her like this.
There's no time to waste. Let's begin the operation immediately.
All right, let's get started.
Well, here we go. Let's all do our best.
At least we won't have to use the ultrasound to find them, like with normal. That'll help save us.
We'll still have to look at it.
I believe that we can... They're already exposed, so please begin by draining the cytoplasm. Now that you've drained the cytoplasm, now place it on the tray. Now you successfully extracted it. Maybe these tumors really are... The membrane's been affixed, but it left a scar. Doctor, it's bleeding and has become inflamed. Again? More inflammation and bleeding?
Not yet.
Tumors have been removed. Please treat the remaining wound. The readings show that the tumors are gone, right? These must be normal scars then.
We'll send the data back to Caduceus just in case. Let's close her up.
Please close up the patient.
Seeing a tumor change color like that was surprising to say the least.
But I'm glad there weren't any complications. Good work, team. What are we gonna do with our interpreter bedridden?
Unfortunately, that's not the biggest problem here. You see, she's also a doctor. We could have taught her how to treat stigma. Someone will have to continue seeing patients after we're gone, right?
Well, we talked it over.
What did she say?
She insists on coming, even if it kills her.
Are you going to allow that, Marcus?
As a patient, I would advise her not to go. But as a doctor, I must respect her decision. She studied medicine to help the people of this country, and now is their greatest hour of need. If we carefully monitor her condition along the way, will that ease your fears, Val?
Yes, somewhat, but I completely understand her desire to help people.